All right, this is Chapter 3, Lesson 2, Estimate Products. So when I'm estimating products using rounding, okay, to estimate products of decimals, I round each number. First, underline the digit to be rounded. Then look at the digit to the right of the place being rounded. After the numbers are rounded, multiply. Okay, so I'm going to look at an example here. So example number 1 says estimate 8.7 times 2.8. I want to round to the nearest whole number to make it easier to compute mentally. Okay, so basically to solve it. So if I'm looking at this, 8.7, I'm going to round to the nearest whole number. So 8.7, I look at the next one, 5 and above, give it a shove. Okay, so 8 becomes 9. And then 2.8, I go next door, 5 and above, I give it a shove. So this becomes 3. So I have 9 times 3. 9 times 3 gives me 27. Okay. Number 2, estimate 42.6 times 37.2. Round to the greatest place value to make it easier to compute mentally. So the greatest place value here is tens. So I'm going to look at 42.6. So the greatest place value is a 4. I look next and I have a 2, so this stays where it is. So 42.6 is approximately 40. Okay. Then I look at 37.2. I start with the 3. I go next door to 7. 7 tells me to bump it up. So 3 becomes a 4. So I get 40. So 40 times 40, right? 4 times 4 is 16, and then I have 2 zeros, so 1,600. So the product is about, remember you're doing approximations, you're not doing exact, is about 1,600 or 1,600. Okay. Number 3, a greyhound can travel 39.3 miles per hour. At this speed, about how far could a greyhound travel in 6.5 hours? Okay, so I want to round. 39.3 is about 40. Okay? We're dealing with nice numbers, like numbers that have 5s or 0s on the ends, okay? 6.5 I can round to 7 because that's the nearest whole number. So now I can multiply. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 4 gives me 28, so 280. The greyhound could travel about 280 miles in 6.5 hours. Okay. Number 4, suppose 1 US dollar is equal to 5.8 Egyptian pounds. About how many Egyptian pounds would you receive for $48.50? Round to the greatest place value to make it easier to compute mentally. So I'm looking at 5.8. The 1s is my greatest place value. So I go next door. It's 8. 8 tells me I bump my 5 up. So this becomes approximately 6. 48.50. 4 is my biggest value for place value. I go next door to look at 8. 8 tells me to bump this up. So this is about $50. Okay. Now I'm going to take 50 times 6. Okay. 6 times 0 is 0. 0, 0. 6 times 5 is 30. So $48.50 is equal to about 300 Egyptian pounds. Okay. So again, there's a couple posters over here. First, you have the rounding coaster. So the rounding coaster just kind of reminds you where that break is. That break of 1, 2, 3, 4, you let these go, you round down, you keep them the same. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you're going to round up. Gives you a couple of examples. Okay. I also have a little poem here. Underline the digit, look next door. If it's 5 or greater, add 1 more. If it's less than 5, leave it for sure. Everything after is a 0, not more. Okay. I also have a picture of Elsa here. Form below, let it go. Just let it go, okay? Leave the number alone, don't change it. Leave that number alone, okay? 5 and above, you're gonna give it a shove. All right, there are 6 try-it problems on page 48. Go ahead, pause the video, try out the try-it problems, and when you're done, we will go over the answers together. All right, now that you've had a chance to try the try-it problems, let's try them out together. So the first one I have, A, is 9.6 times 1.8. So 9, I'm going to round these so that they're easy numbers. 9.6 becomes 10, and 1.8 becomes 2. So I have 10 times 2, which gives me 20. So 9.6 times 1.8 is approximately 20. Letter B says 4.2 times 3.1. Okay, so again, I'm going to round to the nearest whole number. 4.2 becomes 4. 3.1 becomes 3. So 4 times 3 gives me 12. So 4.2 times 3.1 is approximately 12. Letter C says 68.4 times 21.3. I'm going to round to the largest place value, which is the tens place. 68.4 becomes 70. 21.3 becomes 20. So when I multiply this, 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 7 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. Remember, you got to leave that place. 7 times 2 is 14. So 68.4 times 21.3 is approximately 1,400. Letter D says Earth is rotating around the sun about 18.6 miles per second. About how many miles does it travel in 4.8 seconds? So I'm going to take 18.6, round to the tens place, which gives me 20. I'm going to take 4.8, round to the ones place, which gives me 5. So 20 times 5 gives me 100. So that means the Earth rotates around the sun about 100 miles in about 5 seconds. Okay? Letter E. The average walking speed of a person is 4.8 kilometers per hour. Estimate the number of kilometers you could walk in 3 hours. So I'm going to look at 4.8. I'm going to round it to 5. And then multiply that times 3. I get 15. So approximately 15 kilometers. You can walk approximately 15 kilometers in 3 hours. Okay. Letter F. A king palm can grow about 2.1 feet a year. Estimate the height of the king palm in yards after 15 years. Okay, so I need to do a couple of things first. The first thing they tell me is I'm going from feet to yards. Okay. There are 3 feet in 1 yard. Okay, so 3 feet is 1 yard. Start there. 2.1 I can round to 2, so I'm dealing with 2 feet, right? Well, that's not quite a yard. So you can do one of 2 things. You can multiply 2 times 15 and then divide your answer by 3. So let's do that. So I'm going to take 2 times 15, or 15 times 2, because I rounded this to 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, okay? I'm going to take 30 and divide it by 3 because there's 3 feet in 1 yard. 30 divided by 3 gives me 10. So approximately 10 yards in 15 years. And that is the end of lesson 2.